Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Khoo Hsu Chuang with Wei Lynn, Tang and Sulhi Azman. Wei Lynn, 2 days of gains, very strong gains, with a little bit of a hump in between for a public holiday. Very strong market. What do you think that tells you?
Well, today the market was up, I think, close more than 30 points up, but intraday actually rose up almost 45 points. But you don't know whether this rally is actually because the market is anticipating the Federal Reserve not to raise interest rates, or is it because of the 20 billion actually pumping to Valuecap?
Probably a bit of both. Let's get some clarity on the whole issue from Sulhi.
That's right, guys. Okay, the BM KLCI today closed 34 points higher to close at 1,681 points. In anticipation of the certainty, or rather, the Fed to correct the volatility in the market. Now, some 2.24 billion shares were traded today with 3.8 billion ringgit, and gainers were 672 points, outperforming the losers by 266 losers. Now, the top gainers in the market today is Genting. If you look at the regional market today, everything seems to be a bit up. If you look at Nikkei, STI, Singapore, Dow Jones, and S&P in the early morning trade was also up. But Shanghai and Hang Seng seems to be on a cooling off side. If you look at the commodity prices, WTI prices is 46.8 per barrel. Brent also inch up a bit at 49.59 US dollar per barrel. And CPO price, it generally tracks the crude oil price in some way, and steadily rising to a settlement price of 2,148 ringgit per ton. As I said earlier, I think the market is expecting Janet Yellen to pull the trigger by today, and maybe we need to get some clarity tomorrow.
Well, in terms of how the market is behaving, three very, very clear catalysts for me as far as the market is concerned. Number one, the market behaves as if Janet Yellen is not going to raise rates, probably not at least until December. The second thing, of course, is the 20 billion ringgit injection from Valuecap that's going to be coming to the market. The third thing is, of course, the bounce in oil prices from the American side because production has cut. So that seems as if it's been propelling the market for the last 3 days.
But if you zoom in just on the interest rates alone, we did see the Asian markets also rallying, so it's not just on the local front.
Exactly. Well, speaking of oil, let's switch to SapuraKencana Berhad, and they are hot stock for the day. They closed today 7% higher at $2. Net profit for the second quarter fell by 77% to 104 million ringgit, but a lot of that was due to asset impairment provisions because at the pre-tax level, they actually had a 14% bounce year-on-year to 601 million ringgit.
That's right. So net profit second quarter fell, but if you look at the oil and gas asset impairment division, it's actually close to 540 million ringgit. So that's quite sizable. Because of that, it actually pulled down its net profit level. But overall, analysts are actually still positive on SapuraKencana. So one takeaway that I could get was because of its order book that is able to sustain it through FY 2017.
That's right, 23 billion ringgit, I think. In terms of the catalyst, most of their stuff is being utilized. I think 99% technical utilization. They've been able to manage costs quite well. They've got a quite good activity with their EPCIC fleets in Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam, as well as from a stronger dollar. They've been benefiting because a third of their costs are in ringgit terms, but a lot of the stuff that they do overseas is in US dollars.
Right. So, Chuang, you mentioned just now on the technical utilization bit, it's actually close to full. But what about going forward, though? I mean, is it able to actually sustain that kind of levels going forward? That could be one of the key risks. Well,
that's precisely the reason why TA Research actually downgraded their premium on the stock, because they used to trade at 15 times the industry earnings versus the industry of about 11 times, but they've since cut back TA Research to 11 times, which means a low target price of 229 from 315 previously.
Just speaking of that, MIDF has also lowered its target price. It still maintains a buy call, but it lowered the target price for the same reason. So the main thing is crude oil prices, right? It will actually be the main risk of SapuraKencana going forward. And I think I also read a report by UOB Kay Hian today saying that crude oil prices, right, at $60 a barrel would be actually optimum.
Exactly. So if you look at it, how it closed today, $2 per share, 229 from TA Research. Just to wrap up, second quarter net profit is lower on the year, but this is because of impairment costs. Core operating profit is intact, but they're buffered by the 23 billion order book. That's going to help them in 2017 through that year. But weak industry conditions have seen TA Research cut multiples on SapuraKencana, resulting in a lower target price of 229 from 312 previously.